Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for some folks to join and put in here what we're talking about, even though I said it before earlier today. Oh, and my guest is here. Good evening. Is it raining where everyone is? Oh, all right. Let me go on ahead and do that and invite. Waiting. Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm struggling with this because it still says, okay, there. So I was like, it still says connecting on my screen.
But here you are. I'm just typing in what this is about, even though we both put it up. But so people know what we're talking about.
Of course.
And pinned. Awesome. So, how's everything going in the district?
Everything is good. Please excuse my hair appointment is Friday.
Oh, look. You see who's on?
Hi, Senna.
No, not just Senna.
Okay. Oh, hey, Julian. I still struggle in this area. I'm trying to find out where the people are. God be with me.
God be with us both as we do this, yes, and so we want to be respectful of folks' time. If you know anyone that should be on this, if they are a high school senior or they are a first year student, African American, both of them, first year student in college, please do share this with them or tell them that this is happening so they can join us and get this information because, like I said in the caption of my post earlier today, and Lauren said as well, this is not what funders do. They don't give you the insights like what they're looking for. It's like figure it out on your own and be great. So, but we felt really strongly about doing this because Lauren and I have been engaged and involved with applications or scholarships before, and noticing that folks basically trip over things that aren't necessary. And also wanted to just answer any questions that anyone might have. We're really excited about these scholarships. So it's 7:04, so we will start at 7:05. Again, please invite folks to watch us tonight. We're not going to be long. We're not going to take much of your evening because I do have a 7:30 and I know Lauren has been working all day and is ready to take a seat. So shout out to Lauren because if you look at my story, you will see how she tried to call me out regarding holding her to task.
That's for another live, but thank you so much. Because for the people watching, I have a very love-hate relationship, but here we go.
We're here. And it's 7:05. So again, thank you. Good evening. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. I am Monica Britton West, and I am the founder and president and CEO and all those good things of monicabritton.com. Under that fall several things, but one of them, and probably the one we're talking about tonight, would be Black Girl on Campus, where I work with young Black girls who will be first generation college students who are in high school, so grades 9 through 12, and also have Lift As You Climb Development, which works with young millennial Black women who are in college and then a few years out adulting. And then also I have my podcast, On Campus with Monica Britton West, where you can find it anywhere you listen to your podcasts or you can go to my website, link in bio, to check it out. I am on episode 4. And thank you, Lauren. And episode 5 is coming out next week. So, and you are?
Oh, I am Lauren Renee Jackson, the founder. Esquire, I guess. Um, the founder of Instilling My Ability to Naturally Embrace Excellence, lovingly known as IMANEE. We are a mentoring organization dedicated to the elevation and the development of Black girls and women, as we seem to be expanding more into the all ages territory, which shout out to the Lord for the vision. And I'm super excited because launching a scholarship was definitely one of our 2021 goals, and to be able to do that with my mentor through her platform BGOC is extremely exciting. So I'm happy to be here with you talking about it and all the fun things.
Exactly. And as Lauren mentioned, like, we had talked about this last year in the pandemic. It came up, the desire to do this, to come up with a scholarship. That was the initial thought, one scholarship. But then, because of the generosity of many benefactors, we were able to do 2 scholarships, and just really excited about being able to do this in the first quarter of 2021, when it was just a goal, a dream, back last year when everything was going crazy. So Lauren, why don't you talk a little bit about the scholarship and the name and all of that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we've mentioned, and as you may have seen from our captions, we will be offering 2 scholarships under the name the Excellence Scholarship. Obviously that falls in line with the mission of both of our organizations, but obviously a play on the word. Excellence is our thing over here at IMANEE. That's what we strive for. That's what we live. That's what we do. And so we are excited to support one young lady graduating from high school who will be entering college in the fall of 2021, and a current first-year student who, by the time the scholarship comes around, would have completed their first year of college. So they'll be going into their sophomore year. And particularly, I guess, some details, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
For the high school senior, the requirement is that you are a first generation student, and that's BGOC's lane. So I'll have Monica explain what we look for in first year. However, that requirement does not apply to the college student. So if you are if you're completing your freshman year in college, and let me also say that includes 4-year institutions, a 2-year institution where you may be transferring to a 4-year institution. There is no requirement for you to be a first generation student. However, I'm going to pin it here and let you explain first gen and why we went that route.
Absolutely. So first gen, for the purposes of the scholarship, of the Excellence Scholarship, as it relates to high school seniors, young Black girls who are high school seniors. First gen would mean that neither one of your parents have gone to college. They do not have a bachelor's degree. They have not gone to college. That is what first gen is for us in this space. And I will also say that, as it relates to, just to jump off a little bit, as it relates to first gen, period, if you look, one of my posts I did a couple of weeks ago, I'll share it in my story after, or reshare it, because I'm pretty sure I shared it at the time. There are there are like 8 different definitions of what a first gen is. So be sure to even ask your university, what does first gen, when you're applying and you're in the application process now and waiting for answers. But for those who are not seniors yet, if you're in 9th, 10th, or 11th grade, and you start to apply and you're a first gen, ask them what their definition is, because it does vary by university. Most of them have taken the definition from the federal government, from the TRIO program, which is neither parent has finished a 4-year institution. So, but it varies. So don't, go in there and be blind. And also, if you're a first gen, I would say with the colleges you apply to, figure out or ask or see if they have some sort of dedicated first generation programming that can support you, resources, those types of things that can support you once you hit campus, because high school and college, as I'm sure you know, but just to reiterate, are two very different animals. And when you're on your own and not having anyone that could have guided you in that way, then it is a little bit challenging. But listen, that's what BGOC is here for, to help you in that regard, as is IMANEE, excuse me, if you're in younger grades, like through 6th through 8th. So that is first gen. That's what it means.
Love the explanation. And so, yeah, so this is just another way both of our organizations and companies is supporting the education of Black girls, right? I mean, we can go into a little bit. When I met Monica, it was because I was getting ready to go into college. And I wasn't in college.
You were a sophomore, like you were like a first semester sophomore.
That was a first semester sophomore, clarification. Yeah, because at that time I had already pledged.
Had you? Or you were getting ready to? Like,
oh, was I getting? I don't know. Either way, I was in college.
Listen, look. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. We're gonna talk about sorority in a second. Go on.
But you know, I was blessed enough that I went to college on a full 4-year scholarship, right? And so the reality of the situation is, when I was going through my applications, you know, I didn't have a BGOC at that time, because that wasn't really a big thing. It was literally me and my parents like, okay, we are going to apply for every single thing possible. Praise the Lord, I happened to just be a good student at the time, right? And so I was able to get scholarships from universities themselves. However, it was a process that we had to navigate. Money is generally a factor. And I remember, you know, a little anecdote. I remember my dream school was Northwestern at the time. And I got into the school, and my father was he got the call. He was like, all right, we're going to figure this out. What were the FAFSAs like? So I already submitted. And then Seton Hall called and said, we want to offer you a full ride. And my father said, well. And so, granted, it was a beautiful experience, but that was a real consideration.
Absolutely.
And for this is something that we understand, that money is a barrier, and we don't want that to be a barrier. So whatever we can do to contribute, that is why this scholarship exists.
And it is $1,000 for each scholarship. So for the high school winner, it'll be $1,000, and for the college student, the first year going into sophomore year, it will be $1,000 as well. The application is open now. You can click the link in my bio. You can click the link in Lauren's bio and get directed right to there, so you can check it out, read it, understand everything that's needed to apply. And the application closes on June 15th, 2021. So you have a couple months. There's no reason to hurry up and rush and do it. But also don't wait until June 14th at 7 o'clock to start to try to pull everything together either. I think the biggest thing and the reason why we wanted to do this walkthrough is because we have, as mentioned, encountered scholarships, applications that had to be unfortunately disqualified because the directions weren't followed. And I will say that following the directions is, in any scholarship application, not just this one, but in any one, the following the directions is one of the boxes that's checked amongst the decision team to figure out, because that's a simple thing, that's low-hanging fruit. If you can't follow directions on submitting an application for the scholarship, then who's to say, that you're not good at, I don't think you're not good at following directions, but it's like following directions is something that is a skill that's necessary and needed throughout the rest of your life. The scholarship committees, this one, scholarships, any scholarship you apply to, they have hundreds of scholarships probably that they're looking at, applications. And if they say submit 2 recommendations, don't submit 5 because they don't have time to read it. Like they're not, it's like, okay, well, that's just going to go because they didn't even follow the directions to say to do the 2. Because
Right.
5 doesn't make it any better, doesn't make your application that much better. Lauren, would you like to speak to that as
Yeah.
well?
No, definitely. I mean, I agree with everything that you said. So I guess from our or in our application, you will see that there are questions that we need to ask, background information. There will be documents that you will be required to upload, right? So, for a high school student, we are still going to ask, how you're performing in school, though your GPA is not going to be a factor. There is no GPA requirement for this particular scholarship because we believe everybody deserves a chance at getting some money. Um,
Yeah, basically.
Um, and so, however, there is a little difference. We are in a very virtual time. And so for us, we want to know how you continue as a young woman of color, how do you continue to pave the way for those following you? So what does excellence as a black girl look like for you? And we're asking you to submit that in video format. Okay. Video format. And your video does not have to be long, right? It could be a 5-minute video of who you are, why the scholarship will help you, and what is your commitment to ensuring that Black girls and women continue to excel in society. How will the things that you intend to study or intend to continue to follow through to your community service if you're already in college, how does that continue to elevate you? And that's what we want to hear. And so there is a letter of recommendation.
Are you asking me? Are you telling me?
I'm trying to remember because I'm like, did I take it off? But
I think you actually might have because I didn't write it in my notes as something that was necessary.
Sorry, y'all. I was looking at somebody else's scholarship application the other day, and I was like, wait, I guess I got 2 things in my head. But the most important piece is going to be the video. We want to know who you are. We want to connect with you. Because we would love to share your wonderful words with the people when we celebrate you.
Exactly.
We've been on the virtual world long enough. Filters are a thing on the grams and the Snapchat. Come with your best, right? Put your best foot forward. Excellence is the name of the scholarship. So excellence is what we want you to produce. Because again, we're trying to give this money away. So
right, we don't want to sit and not have any applicants for it. I will also say, I believe it says it. I hope I'm in the application. I'm trying to look really quickly. But in terms of putting your best foot forward, make sure your lighting is together. Nobody wants to be trying to. The other day, I was on an event. I'm not going to out it because if I say it, then people will know. Like some people who are watching will know. But I was on an event, and the person that was leading the event was in daggone near darkness. And I'm like, why? I can't see you. I don't even know where you're talking. Like, what's happening? So make sure your lighting is together. I mean, that'll be something that we're looking at. Record in landscape. Not vertical. Landscape is horizontally. This way. Lauren, do landscape so people see what, right. Landscape. How you're seeing us is landscape. Vertical is how your phone is held. Yeah. And when you hold, it's easier or better for us to see it in landscape. So then when we post it, it doesn't have that weird box around it, or if we share it or put it together in something, it fits with everything else. So film in landscape. Again, make sure your lighting is together. Make sure we can hear you. No one wants to be like, what did she say? What happened? I couldn't barely hear. I mean, no shade. I'll say right off the bat that's something. Senna said YouTube landscape. Yes, YouTube is in landscape. Thank you, Senna. Photographer extraordinaire. Photos by Senna. Go check her out if you need pictures for sure. if we have to, I know if I have to be like, what? I can't hear them. I'm gonna be like disqualified. I don't mean to be like shady or anything, but I can't.
She's not joking either.
Put your absolute best foot forward, as Lauren said, because you'll be up against others. And because the scholarship doesn't have a excuse me, a GPA requirement, then our hope is that many more women and young girls will apply, because that's the point. People get caught up and lost. I was just actually listening to my podcast episode, shameless plug, episode 4, about the guest is a woman by the name of Tanika, and she has a business called paid4college.com. And she is like the guru in getting scholarships. And she went to college, to undergrad and grad school, debt free. And she shares how she did that on the podcast. But I was just listening, and we were just talking about, not so much not wanting to put your best foot forward, but just not doing it, or getting overwhelmed, like, oh, I don't want to, apply for scholarships. I can't, my grades aren't good enough. And people think that only folks with these amazing grades, like a 4.0 or, a 3.8 or whatever it is, straight A's, that's the scholarship that I don't have that, so I can't apply. And number one, that's not the case. There's over $7 billion in scholarship and grant money available every single solitary year. I say this all the time. And almost $3 billion of it gets left on the table because people don't apply. And all of those scholarships aren't because people have 4.0s. Right. So don't get caught up in that number. Don't get caught up in that you don't meet certain requirements. You never know unless you look. And in this one, it's really about, as Lauren said, leadership, service, and just supporting Black girls to be excellent. No one's asking you to have, the best grades, or even, if you have a 70 and you apply, like.
No, seriously. And I think the other beautiful thing, right, you're connecting when you're applying to this, you're connecting to 2 organizations that can point you in the direction of resources, right? So let's say, God forbid, your GPA was not the best. If you're a high school student, you did not perform the way that you wanted to. Don't think that we probably won't be able to be like, hey, here's something that can help you when you to go into college, or here's some things and tools that you may want to consider to help you continue to perform, right? Like, we want to give you money, but we also want to support you, right? Like, granted, our organization supports you up until the age of 17. But hello, there's a Black girl on campus that will support you while you are in college. And so when you are applying to this scholarship, you are not only applying just for money, but you're applying to a network ran by 2 Black women who literally just want to see other Black women and girls win. That is what we establish these companies for.
That's it.
Committed to. And so please send in your applications. Well,
yes.
And applications.
Yes. So if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to ask them in the comments. Don't be shy, or just have a statement about the scholarships. Feel free to share it. But I know that, I need to say too that tonight, it is kind of late now, so if you don't have it in, I don't know if you're going to get it in. But if you're on the verge, you've already submitted the most of the stuff for the scholarship that's in my mom's name, the Dorothy Pearl Jones Britton Memorial Scholarship. This is the inaugural year for that as well. So look at, 3 scholarships in the first quarter. I'm beside myself with just being so happy. But that scholarship closes tonight at 11:59 p.m. So it's still open. And I have gotten applications, and I'm really excited to look through them with the decision team. But there's still time to submit. But, like we just talked about in terms of following directions and whatnot, don't come submitting it tomorrow at 7:07 because that's late. And how would that be fair? I guess that's what I mean. That's how would it be fair? If someone made it and they were in on time, but you got in late, and I take it and consider it. I mean, and it's also, it's not about being difficult or being hard. It's about showing, you know, just what's what I'm looking for. Like there's consequences to things, and that's why you have to follow directions. That's why you have to you know, be diligent and be orderly with your time management to be able to do the things that you need to do. That's the way that it works in college. You know, yes, professors, there are those professors that'll give you a bit of a break or something, but by and large, like there's not going to be a whole lot of hand-holding in college. And that's what something like this small step of make sure it's in by 11:59 p.m. on 3/31 is a step in that direction to make you realize just the importance of time and understanding why you need to do that. So Lauren just finished a wonderful week of celebration for IMANEE. Full transparency, I am on her board for IMANEE. I am the chair of her board. And, and she just celebrated year 9 with a bunch of virtual events, and it was really cool. She has just started her cohort for young girls, and it's going to go for a full year. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know that there might still be a little bit of opportunity if people are interested.
Absolutely. So we are doing our mentoring academy that we would normally have done in person, obviously given the pandemic. We are doing it virtually. And so there's a cohort open to ladies 11 to 17 years of age, where we will meet by two times a month.
It's late, y'all.
We will meet 2 times a month and discuss all things girls, right? So self-esteem issues, how to become entrepreneurs if that is something that you want to do. It is literally a safe space that we've created for Black girls, Black and brown girls, to feel supported, to feel heard, and to feel uplifted. And so please, if you are interested in joining while the formal application process has closed, shoot us a DM, right? Like, we do not believe in turning girls away. The program is free because it is on Zoom. We just ask if you're going to sign up that you be committed, because this is very much about your elevation and transformation. And we have some amazing people that have signed up to help. I think Jillian is still watching. So the former IMANEE girls will be coming back in.
Yes, I love that.
And so, yeah, right. Like it's another safe space to get us through this continuing world that we now currently live in, and gear us up for year 10 in 2022. It is our prayer that we will continue to be of service in a more magnified way. So.
Lauren, with the celebration events that happened last week on the IMANEE Facebook page, could folks go back and watch those and check those out?
They sure can. So you can just like IMANEE on Facebook. All the replays are available. We still have 2 more to upload onto our IGTV. So those will probably by the end of this week. But please like us on Instagram, like us on Facebook.
Oh, I thought you were still talking. Sorry, it just like went quiet for a second. So to quickly wrap this up, because like I said, I have a 7:30 and a 7:29. The application for the applications, well, it is one application. When you go to the site, you will see one application and you just choose which one you are, if you're a high school student or if you are a college student. But the application for the IMANEE BGOC Excellence Scholarships is open now. Click the link in my bio, click the link in Lauren's bio. You'll be directed right over there, or the IMANEE bio, IMANEE.org bio, and you'll be directed right there. The application is open until June 15th, 2021. You need to do a video. It's a video essay. It's not even a written essay. Good. I mean, come on. Like, make sure you record right. You're in landscape. Your lighting is good. We can hear you. You're answering the questions. Be sure to follow and answer or follow the instructions in the application So just don't get disqualified off of small stuff. That's basically why we wanted to do this. So there's that. Lauren, any final words?
No, just thank you so much, Monica, for allowing me to support you this way.
And thank you for supporting the work. Lauren has been an amazing support. BGOC exists because of Lauren and a few other people who I was mentoring before I even came up. They were in like a beta version that was living in my head. And now it has become a full-fledged business. This is what I do, as you know, for a living. So just grateful for Lauren and so many other young women and their families that have let me be in their lives in this way, and in the mentoring capacity and the support capacity. It just really is humbling for me. So with that said, we will save this live. It will be up for I'd say, you know what, maybe we'll leave it up for, well, leave it.
Do I get this too?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, I struggle.
So thank you, Senna. That's so sweet. Thank you. Senna said thank you all so much for giving back. Thank you all for getting on tonight. And if you know young ladies that are eligible for this, please tell them. That's another thing that in the podcast episode she talked about. It's like, we talk about it takes a village. Be a part of someone's village. And parents, if you have your daughter is going to college, you have a daughter in college, tell people that. Let them know, like, because people, you never know what people know in terms of scholarships and stuff like that to help offset the cost of college. When you just sitting quiet, people don't know, they don't realize. So please be sure to let people know, and spread the word. So with that said, that's that.
Have a good night.
Good night.